You've heard people say we're all Abrahamic faiths, Jews, Christians, Muslims. We all worship the same God. It sounds good, it sounds peaceful, but it's a lie. And I'm about to show you why it's a lie from the Torah itself. This isn't about hate, it's about covenant. And covenant lines cannot be blurred. So let's go back to Genesis. Abraham is promised a son, and Sarah is barren. So Abraham has a son through Hagar, the servant. That's Ishmael. Yahuwah blesses Ishmael. He promises him, you will be fruitful, you will multiply, you will become nations and kings. And that happened. History confirms it, and even to this day, you can still witness it. Ishmael's descendants were blessed. Vast nations, wealth, oil empires, they all trace back to Ishmael's line. But when Yahuwah speaks about covenant, he says something very different. My covenant I will establish with Isaac, whom Sarah will bear to you at this set time next year. That's in Genesis chapter 17, verse 21. So, do you hear it? Ishmael is blessed. Isaac is covenant. Blessing is not covenant, and covenant is not blessing. Now, here's where it gets messy. In Torah, the binding, the Akdan, when Abraham takes his son up the mountain, it's Isaac. It was always Isaac, the covenant heir. But in the Quran, the name isn't even in there. It just says the son. However, later Islamic tradition changed it to Ishmael. Why? Because Islam's legitimacy had to run through Ishmael to Muhammad. That's not coincidence. That's a deliberate rewrite of covenant history. So now we've got two stories. The Torah, Isaac is chosen, covenant confirmed through him, and Islam says Ishmael is chosen and covenant is rerouted. And today you've got politicians and preachers saying, see, it doesn't matter, we're all Abrahamic, same family, same God. But no, that's a counterfeit unity. It erases the covenant line that Yahuwah himself established. So if you look around, I mean, what are world leaders building right now? The Abrahamic house in Abu Dhabi, mosque, church, synagogues all over one campus, interfaith alliances where everyone's one family, political speeches about shared Abrahamic values. They're all merging religions on a false foundation. Because if Ishmael and Isaac are the same, then covenant no longer matters. And if covenant no longer matters, Torah no longer matters. And if Torah no longer matters, Yahusha, the covenant fulfillment, no longer matters. That's the real agenda. A unity that sounds holy, but destroys the covenant from within. Now, let me be clear. This is not about despising Ishmael's children. Yahuwah blessed Ishmael. His descendants are powerful nations today because Yahuwah's word cannot fail. But again, blessing is not covenant. The true unity comes when all nations acknowledge the covenant Yahuwah made through Isaac, carried through Jacob, fulfilled in Yahusha. That's the only unity that will last. Not a man-made Abrahamic faith's PR project, not a counterfeit merging of religions, only covenant truth. And I know this will hurt some feelings. Good. The truth divides, and if you blur blessing and covenant, You create a false religion. And that's exactly what the world is doing right now. But the remnant will know Ishmael was blessed, but Isaac was chosen. And Yahuwah's covenant never moved an inch. So the next time someone says we're all Abrahamic faiths, you tell them the truth. We may all trace to Abraham, but only one line carries the covenant. And if you can't rewrite what Yahuwah established, unity without covenant is counterfeit. The world is rushing toward it, but the remnant knows the difference. Like, follow, and share for more.